Hey guys,
I'm Jeri.
I'm Sierra.
We're ladies.
And we tangent.
Because you can take out things when the interrupter that I am happens.
Hey. You're in good company here.
We found out that there's like a form of communication that is specifically for
interrupters.
Yeah.
Well, I always say I interrupt because I'm psychic.
Oh, well, I love that.
A great excuse. A great excuse. Also, I feel like, again, you and I look more related than Sierra and I do.
I agree with that. Very true.
I agree. You and I do look more related. But tell me who's who.
So
Go ahead.
I'm Jeri.
Yeah, and I'm Sierra.
And we are cousins. We were born 9 days apart.
Mm-hmm.
Our dads are brothers.
Yep.
But we could not look more opposite.
And it's the same kind of situation with our sisters too. When we're sitting beside each other, your sister looks like she should be my sister. You guys don't look alike at all. And then me and my sister don't look alike at all as well. It's our genetics are weird.
I just heard about a case where somebody took one of those ancestry tests.
Yes.
And then it came back and they were like, wait, you have a cousin, but there shouldn't have been a cousin. But it was because 50 years ago, there was a mix up with the babies. Yeah. Well, and they only found out through ancestry. Yeah.
I'm afraid to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know why. There's too many secrets.
Here's why I'm afraid of it. Because we live in a very small town and my fiance looks a lot like you. So I'm just like,
wouldn't that be hilarious?
He's my distant cousin. I'm just concerned.
Oh, wow.
We already have a baby. What are we going to do? Sorry.
Danielle, it's really nice to meet you.
It is amazing to meet you.
Yeah, this is fun. Already this is fun. So this is good.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast you were on, the Unplugged podcast, and you said something that really resonated with me because I feel like we can relate to it. And you said that you like being in control of your website because you get to change kind of what your title is whenever you need to, because one word doesn't fit all the time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how, when we started the podcast, we were like, everyone is picking a niche, like a genre, and I don't want to, because I don't want to be the same thing all the time.
It's so confusing when people ask us, like around here, we'll say we have a podcast and they'll be like, what do you talk about? And it's like, so many different things.
I don't know.
I can't just put us into one box. It's a lot.
I constantly want to update what I'm doing and like I need to be able to go where I'm going. So that website needs to be under my control.
Yeah.
I feel you. Again,
we love it here.
Under my control.
Yes.
Because I'm very spontaneous. So
yes. What would you say that your title is as of now, or what label would you like wear?
Yeah. What label would I wear? I think I've been focusing a lot on animal stuff lately.
Yeah.
And a lot of on animals that have crossed over lately, but really I call myself an animal communicator, but also a plain psychic.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, it depends on in the moment, what I feel in that moment, what I say, which is why you don't really see it on my website right now.
Which I love.
Yeah.
I love that. I think sorry that I feel like I stalked you, but on your website, you also were sharing
research
that I was just so fascinated because I had never heard, we've heard of psychics and mediums, but I'd never heard someone who was like almost specializing in communicating with animals. And so I was like, what is up with this? This is fascinating. And something you said on there was that, you worked for a Fortune 500 company and you had your MBA, and then you said, is this it? And when I was teaching for 5 years, and I'm like, this is the rest of my life. I have to wake up and it's Groundhog's Day forever.
All the time. Yeah.
And I basically am here till I'm dead, and I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, I did not feel in grad school. I was like the weird one. Imagine that, right? And then working in marketing and PR, that just wasn't, I was really good at it, but just because you're good at something doesn't mean that that's what you should be doing.
Yes.
I'm a really good, I have the psychic floofy part of me, and then I have the boom, boom, boom part of me. Comes together well to have a business, but the boom, boom, boom part, if that's all there is, that doesn't make my heart sing.
Yeah, you're not feeding the part of you that, you know, allows the boom, boom, boom to work.
Yes.
Like, I love that you're talking my language.
If I don't have something pouring into me creatively, or if I can't express that, then I have no energy to do the administrative part of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I just concentrate on the boom, boom, boom stuff, which would be like, I could make money doing this. This is popular right now. It always fails. It always flops.
Okay,
I literally can't think about money.
I have one more thing that you just reminded me of when you said that. I saw it today when I was exporting some kind of photo that we needed for social media. For whatever reason, are you familiar with Canva? I'm sure.
Yes. I don't have Canva, though.
Well, that's what we use to like do our thumbnails and stuff. But as I was downloading it, for some reason, it gave me a quote at the bottom. And it's a Maya Angelou quote, and it says, "Success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it." Ooh, and it clicked with me so much. And again, it just reminds me of everything that you kind of went through in order to get here.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing, thinking about what is success. Yes. Right? We can get caught up in a certain amount of money and a certain amount of visibility and all of these things. Mm-hmm. But really, when I'm grounded and clear, it's about loving what I'm doing. And then today I got to see results of what I'm doing. One of my students wrote and was talking about how the class had changed her life, and she's not going back to the corporate world, and she, all of this stuff. And I was like, oh, this is why I do what I do.
Yes.
Because it makes people happy and it changes their lives. Yes. If I stay there, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Right? If I stay there, I'm on purpose.
Yes. Yeah. That's that. And we talked about that a lot for us at the beginning, because you had teaching and photography, and both of those things were amazing. And I was going through a point where like I couldn't find my thing, and I'm like, am I broken? What is wrong with me? Because I was good at everything, but I'm like, am I just destined to hate whatever I do forever? Like, I just thought that I didn't want to work for anything or do anything for the rest of my life, and that was a me problem, until we found this. And I was like, oh, it was just that I was meant to do something that obviously I would have never pictured in my life. So,
but so many people make finding that their purpose like the point.
Yeah.
And they forget it's all actually supposed to be pretty enjoyable and experimental and fun. And I say that like, I don't do that. That's not true.
Easier said than done.
Right. I get it. I make that mistake too. But being in purpose for me is just loving it. Right. Yeah. Just loving something I'm doing, feeling great. Like how you guys felt as soon as we came on here. I was like, oh, this feels really good. Because you're in your thing. And I think people don't understand that feeling that you have of loving what you're doing is just literally the point.
It feels wrong.
It does.
It feels very, very wrong, especially growing up, because, work was portrayed as like the whole 9 to 5, come home, undo your tie. You're
now
exhausted.
You finally get to enjoy life.
Yeah. And so you think it's normal. And like, if you grow up with caregivers in the household who are miserable with their job as well, you again think it's normal, and it's just like a means to an end. Mm-hmm. But we talk a lot about how we don't like things to be transactional. And I do understand that, yes, there has to be some kind of a transaction, but we're more into energy transference than we are like financial. Like, that's a benefit. It is a necessary. But if we are not putting good energy into the world where we feel like we're pouring into someone's like soul, then it's meaningless for us. So
doesn't feel successful.
Yes.
But you can tell who is being more transactional, who's doing it because it's proper or appropriate or the supposed next step or whatever it is. I tend not to gravitate toward those people.
Same. Yeah. I have a hard time connecting.
Yes.
I tend to gravitate toward the people who are maybe a little more spontaneous, a little less following the path that everybody else goes down.
Yes.
Because those are people who are looking. Those
yes.
are my people.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, we found our people right here.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
So I guess I'll introduce you to Mosby. He's back here.
Cool.
Hi, Mosby.
Do you want to say hi?
Oh my God. Is he wearing, wait,
He's wearing
so is he behind you? Or is that him that your hand's on?
I'll show you. He's on the couch.
Oh, okay. I thought that was kind of like a couch.
Yeah. Well, before we didn't know that he liked to wear clothes. And then I got matching outfits for my kids and my husband and I, and they had the same exact pattern in dog clothes. And I was like, wow, I'm getting that as well. And it turns out he loves wearing clothes. And so he's so much more calmer whenever he has them on. And
honestly, normally when he's here, because there's windows, he's like on high alert, kind of. And since he's been here today, he's just been such a sleepy boy.
His little outfit.
Yeah. Well, before I left, I just put his leash on, and we were going to get in the truck. And my 2-year-old son, comes running. He goes, "Mom, Mosby," and he gave me the sweater. And I'm like, "All right, Mosby, you wear your coat when you go outside."
So cute. So whose is Mosby?
Mosby
Yours.
is yes.
Okay. Yes. And what do you guys like? Do we just want to go into it? Do you want me to tell you? What do you know about animal communication?
I
literally nothing.
Can you explain a little before because I am fascinated by it.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll talk about what it is so you guys know also what's happening and what to expect.
Yes.
But you said have you seen a psychic, like a plain psychic before?
Yes. Several, actually. And we had my friend Reggie, who is a psychic medium. We had him on probably last year.
Yeah.
I met him in college. He actually lived on the same floor as me in the dorm. And he came straight in and did a reading. And it was something I've always gravitated towards that world as well. But like he was so he had never met me before, and everything he said, like, it was nuts.
Yes.
And so we had him come on to speak kind of about his journey. And we had a psychic at my bachelorette party, which was fun. So fun.
Yes.
So familiar with the world, but not when it comes to animals so much.
Okay. So you had Reggie, who's a psychic medium. So Reggie is intuitively connecting to people that have crossed over.
Yes.
And this is your main kind of experience with psychic stuff?
For me, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I think a little bit with like tarot.
Yeah.
But
I don't know how much that.
I don't know how to do tarot. I do tarot and I open the book and I'm like, oh, it says, I don't know how to do tarot at all.
That's what I'm starting with. And so it's working.
It's fun. It's every time doing it. Okay. So with animals are intuitive already. They are naturally intuitive. That's how they survive in the world. So that's how elephants know where each other are when they're 500 miles apart. I think scientists have said, oh, they can sense the vibrations in the earth and stuff like that. They're intuitive. Come on.
Yeah.
They're connected to one another. That's how two dogs that are in a field can be sneaking up on each other and not see each other, but at the same moment they jump up and run toward each other because they're having a whole conversation with one another. They're feeling one another intuitively. So we just forget that our animals are intuitive because we don't think we are intuitive. Right. And I believe that we are all born intuitive. That's why I teach people to do this, either with people or with animals. So when I'm connecting with, am I saying Mosby?
Mosby.
I'm going to write, how am I going to write it? I'm going to write M-O-W.
Yep. Perfect.
Okay. So when I'm connecting with Mosby, my intention is to connect into him on your behalf so that I can deliver to you the messages that he wants you to have. So you'll be able to ask questions too, but we want to get it from his point of view, right? We want to get what has he been trying to tell you, or what does he want you to know about his life, and so the way it will begin is I'll start out and he'll give what I call evidence and essence. So he'll let us know a little bit about like who he is and how he behaves. So you're like, oh, he does do that, and he'll give us evidence where you can be like, yep, I know that this is him. I recognize this piece, or he does have that whatever thing it is. So we kind of get that established so that you can feel like, yeah, she's really talking to him. And then you can ask a question. And so I can do this with animals that have crossed over as well as animals that are alive. It works the same, but we're going to do Mosby, who is clearly alive and sitting behind us. Some people need a picture, or they need to touch the animal or be in person, or, people have all different things. I can do it whatever way, or in a podcast. I'm going to do it just with his name. Yeah. So, and then the other thing you need to know about it is, because I don't know you, Jeri, and Mosby, if it doesn't make sense to you, just kindly say, hey, I don't know what you're talking about, Danielle, because I don't know what I'm talking about. And then I'll just go back to Mosby and say, hey, what is up with this? Most of the time, we're going to figure it out. Sometimes I just got to let it go. Maybe you'll figure it out 6 months from now. And that's, who knows?
Thank you for saying that, because I'm someone who would never tell you that because I would be afraid you'd be offended.
Yeah.
And
it makes the reading better if you say you don't know what I'm talking about. Because otherwise we'll just keep going thinking you've got it. And I'll give you plenty of opportunity to be like, wait, what? And it's a normal part of a reading. It would be nice if you don't understand it if you didn't go, no, with your arms crossed. But it's a really normal part, because I'm trying to take this information that he's giving me and share it as clearly and cleanly as possible to what he gave me. But since I'm not attached to that information, I might share it slightly to the side, so then it doesn't resonate. And I have to go back and figure out, how do I get it exactly how he told me, and then give it to you. Make sense?
Yeah. Yes.
Wow. And then the last part is he'll give me pictures. He'll give me movies. He'll give me feelings in my body. He'll give me sensations. He'll give me words. Sometimes he'll just download a whole idea into my head. It's very much the same as it would be if I was talking to a dead person. Does that make sense?
Yes. Now, I do have one more question, just because I kind of want to have an understanding, because there was another thing that you mentioned on your website about soul contracts, and I am very, very curious to know what that is.
So you have a soul contract. In my animal lessons book, I wrote all about it. You have a soul contract with Mosby, and it's a lesson that he's here to teach you. And so we can definitely ask him about that.
Okay. Okay.
That's
I
gonna
know.
make me emotional.
And a soul contract, the way it works is before you incarnated and before Mosby incarnated, your soul was like, hey, I'm Jeri, and I'm going to be working on some things when I incarnate into this life. I've got some soul lessons, right? And your soul and Mosby's soul were like, got together. And Mosby's soul was like, hey, yeah, I'm going to help you out. I'll meet up with you at some point in this life, and I'm going to help you learn those soul lessons. So you're supposed to be together. We're going to find out why. We'll totally do that. That's a great thing to do. And we'll find out how he's helping you learn whatever you're supposed to learn. I love that you wanted to know that. Yeah. Because so often when I do a reading in like a public forum, like a podcast or something, they really only just want to know if I can connect or not. And it's just so cool that I connect. But I love that you want to know, well, wait, why is he in my life? How is he helping me? What is all this? So
see, I think sometimes the I can't speak for anyone else who has had you on like some kind of a media platform to do a reading, but I feel like some people go into it with like a skepticism, and it's almost like, prove to me that you can do this. It's almost like do a trick, but I genuinely already feel like the most intense connection to this dog. And if you can help me understand why, like, that is meaningful to me outside of this. I just feel very blessed that we have a platform that allowed us to connect this way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I agree. Sometimes they come in very skeptical. And sometimes I just think that people don't realize that there is a depth to an animal.
Yeah.
More so than companionship.
Yes.
And so the podcast can't, whatever podcast or whatever platform that is can't go deeper because the person doesn't yet have that understanding. And it definitely sounds like you already have that understanding. So yay.
I don't know if that was supposed to be a compliment, but I'm taking it as a compliment.
Well, I shouldn't say yes. I mean, yes, but it's bad for me to say yes, right?
No. I say that I have a skill that anything anyone says to me, I just take it as I will turn it into a compliment for myself. Just for
That's awesome. I don't have that skill. I have the opposite. I have the inverse skill. Oh, you said that? Shoot.
That's me. That is me all the time. I'm like, okay, well, you hate me, and it's fine. Like, no, that was a good thing. I'm like, I'm going to think about it all night. It's fine.
All right. All right. Do you have any other questions before I connect with Mosby?
I don't think so.
Okay. So for this, Jeri, I'm going to really kind of hone in on you because it's Mosby's yours.
Uh-huh.
And so it'll be kind of like a conversation between us.
Okay.
More so just because that's right. It's easier for him to have one person that he's talking about. Okay. So give me 1 sec to connect with Mosby. Okay, so when I connect with Mosby, I know that he's sitting right there between you and he seems very calm, but he doesn't come through that calm to me. He comes through with a lot of energy and a lot of anxiety energy as well. And it's funny because I visually see him, this looks calm, right? This is, but this is not how I feel in my body. So one of the things that an animal can do is make me feel like they feel. And I feel a little bit nervous. I feel like I'm very aware of my surroundings. I feel like, almost like I'm always cold, but I don't think he means physically cold. It's more like, when you feel cold because you feel a little like vulnerable. He feels vulnerable to me. This is what I'm feeling in my body. He also is showing me like how he's sitting with you guys right now. This is a big deal to him. It means a lot to him because he needs closeness. He needs touch. He needs connection. He feels safe when so my dog would never go for this. My dog would never want people surrounding her, touching her. But this is what he's showing me. Like you sit next to me and you touch me here. You be by me and I'm good. So how he is right now, this is like a dream way to be. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So he's a little also, not standoffish, but a little like, I'm going to be slow to warm up with you. It's almost like he's checking me out. He's not like, hello, Danielle, let's do this. He's more like, I'm going to move into this. He's open to it, but I can tell he's not letting me in deeply yet. It's almost like I have to kind of warm him up and get to know him. Is this your experience with him with new people as well?
He's very, I feel that I'm his person. Like
So what I'm talking about is outside of you, right?
Yes,
so other people,
like he will. I can tell what kind of people or who in my life he feels closer to than others. Like he lets people in different.
That's a great way to say it. He's choosing to let me in slowly. And the way he wants. Like he's definitely, I have to let him run the show on this connection. Some dogs are gonna be like, hello, let's do this. He's kind of like, I'm interested. We're gonna do this. We're gonna go at the pace that I want to go. Make sense?
Yes. It's Mosby has always been the type of dog that I've always thought he's been communicating with me. Like even since he was a puppy, he wouldn't necessarily bark. He would almost speak to me and he would stomp his foot. He's very
Okay, don't tell me more cool things like that.
Okay.
But I agree with you that he is always communicating with you. So I'm going to go back to him for a moment. Hold on. One thing that he shows me, so he's still keeping me at the physical level. The physical level is more like his environment, how his physical body feels, food, this kind of survival level stuff. And then there's the deeper level, which we'll go to. But he's like, we're going to stay here at the physical level for a little bit. So one of the things I'm noticing is I feel a little stiff in my my hip. Okay. I feel it's just like it's not terrible, but it's I notice my hip. So I'm not saying that he has an injury or something, but I feel like this has been going on for a while though, where it's almost like his pelvis is tweaked, like little. Do you notice a little limp or a little one side of the hips higher than the other? Because that's kind of how it feels to me. I feel like I need a chiropractic adjustment.
I do know that, I mean, he's getting older, and I think that with it being winter, I don't think he's been out as much to exercise, and so it would make sense to me if he's feeling a little stiff.
Yes, that would be a good way to say it. I'm like, but only on one side.
Yeah.
Only on one side. Okay.
Is it weird that I also feel that right now?
Yeah. No, it's not weird, unfortunately. Okay. So you're very connected, and you're also very connected into this reading. So I would bet that as we keep going through, you may also end up intuitively participating.
Fun. That is fun.
It's fun unless we're talking about pain. What?
Like, can you tell during readings and things, or during classes, like, can you, it's almost like there's a room. Can you tell when someone else has like entered the room?
Well, so people don't usually do it the way you're doing it. I don't know how, do you realize how intuitive you are?
Well,
the answer is yes, but you're on a podcast and you're
yeah. I mean, the space that we're recording in right now, I could not go to sleep because I saw it in my head and I had to design it. Like, I physically had to get up and draw it. And when you look at the drawing that I originally did, not even knowing this space existed, it's identical. And so it's just, there are things that I'm almost like gaslighting myself, like, no, but yeah, kind of.
Yeah, we both kind of did that with this space a little bit, where we like predicted that it was going to happen before we even knew it was going to happen. It was very,
very cool. Well, it's showing up in the reading. And so if you could think of like, I'm connecting with Mosby, and then you're over here, Jeri, and you're kind of like throwing your energy right into that connection. You're fully participating. So I actually think because of that, it would be a great idea. Do you want to ask Mosby to describe? Actually, let me make sure. Do you feel like we've connected with Mosby, like I've got Mosby here, or do you want more evidence and essence?
Okay. Can I tell you something weird that I'm feeling right now?
Yeah.
I feel like Mosby is, I feel so weird saying this to you. It almost feels like he's like, I'll tell you deeper things, like me. Like, he's letting you hear, but he's like going through me, if that makes sense.
He's letting me hear. Well, he's holding back with me.
Yes. I feel like he doesn't feel like he's holding back right now, but I can tell he is with you, but like not with me. I don't know how to explain it, but I want to get out of the way is what I'm getting at. Like, I feel
You're not in the way. I actually think asking him to talk a little bit about you and how you are will bring this into more of a triangle. I did not describe a triangle, but you know what I mean. And that was the diamond I made. I want to ask him to talk a little bit about you.
Okay.
And then I feel like that's going to make it work better.
Okay.
Don't worry. We're going to get to the
think it or say it out loud.
You know, I'm going to ask him.
Okay.
You sit back, and you just receive what he's going to say. So I'm going to ask Mosby to share with us what he wants us to know about you. So hold on. Okay. So the first thing that he shows me about you is that you really like to use your hands. You're very creative with your hands. You get into your hands. They're a big part of how you function in the world. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I keep seeing, hold on. I don't know what you're doing with your hand. Like I don't know what it is, but I don't think you're doing this, but it's like you're so into creating with your hands that you're doing like pottery. I know you're not doing pottery, but you know how, what? Do you know how
there is so much clay in my basement right now because I bought stuff for pottery.
Didn't do it.
And I haven't done it because I didn't have a space and I didn't have time.
I'm like getting the pottery stuff, and I'm like, no, but she's not doing pottery. I didn't understand. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So he's clearly very in tune. Hold on. Let me go back to him. So there's all of this energy and creation and using your hands. And really, if you were to actually do that pottery, and I'm not talking this kind of pottery where you're making a thing. I'm talking like ghost, ghost.
Got it. Yes.
What's that called?
Wheel?
The pottery. Yeah.
Yes.
The wheel. Yes.
Yeah.
If you were to do that, you would actually find that those intuitive skills and your connection with him would increase, because he's showing me that when you occupy your physical body with an activity, your connection with him increases because you're no longer in the way. That is so cool. You said you want to get out of the way. He just told us how you can get out of the way. Sorry.
This is amazing.
So cool.
I didn't realize where that was going.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because I have to, in order for me, I just said this the other day. I painted for the first time. Like, I put acrylic paint on another canvas, and I just like, I don't even know. I got into a flow state kind of. And I remember thinking that doing that was like having a conversation with my subconscious. And it felt really cool because I didn't really understand what was being said until I stepped back and looked at it. And so like, it's very cool because he's always with me, no matter if I can't go to the bathroom without him being next to me. So it makes sense that we feel we're connected then.
And it makes sense that you already had the experience of what he's talking about. Like he knew you would know what we're talking about, because I didn't know. I would never have known that you'd had that experience. So you want more from him. This is how you're going to get it. Yeah. You could do it through painting. You can do it through any creative activity that uses your hands. But if you did the pottery wheel, it would actually be best. Because
I would love to do that. Thank you.
Well, what he shows me is that you kind of can't do more than one thing at a time, even though you keep trying.
I feel very called out. Rude.
So get you on the pottery wheel. You're all focused like that, and it frees you up for the intuitive connection.
What is so funny is like 2 days ago, I told Sierra that I was here and I was eating lunch, and I told her I couldn't sit and eat lunch. I had to like take a bite, walk around, take a bite, clean up, take a bite, organize something. Like I can't do just one thing at a time. So yeah,
Sounds about right.
yes.
Yeah, it's a challenge. Okay, I'm going to go back to him. Hold on one sec. Mosby. I'm going to ask him to share whatever else he wants us to know about you, Jeri. Okay. Okay, so this is interesting because I don't think I'm reading it backwards, but it doesn't seem to fit with what I am experiencing of you now. He showed me that sometimes you come into the room and your energy is just too big. It's just too much. And he doesn't enjoy that. He doesn't like when it's all big and like over the top and not like managed well. He doesn't like that. Does this make sense to you?
I'm guessing that probably has something to do with my two toddlers. And that, like, I also know that actually, the more I think about it, I have to be very cognizant of how I speak sometimes, because he can misinterpret what I'm saying and think I'm angry. And he gets very, very anxious. And I have to, like, I go over and I hold him, or my husband and I have to, like, hug each other and kiss to be like, no, 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 we're okay. No one's fighting. So
That's what he's talking about. Not the toddler thing, because he's fine with that's not he's not showing me any issue around toddlers.
Okay.
They're like crazy messy energy, but it's manageable. But sometimes what isn't manageable is you being, he shows it to me like standing up big and boisterous. So it would make sense. It's your natural way. And he really, it does not. So he's showing me that there's two different ways. You can be big and boisterous, but in a way where it's not coming from an emotion. It's more like, I'm just a big and boisterous person. Or you can be big and boisterous because the emotions are all over. That's the one he doesn't like. That's the one that gets him.
Yes, okay. That 100%. And I can tell almost immediately, because that's when he doesn't want to be in the same space. Like, he'll go to a different room. But I know
he does a walk. He does that little walk. He shows me it's almost like if a dog could tiptoe walk, this is what he shows me, like almost like a cartoon trying to get out of the room, right?
It breaks my heart because I know that, like, he's in the other room shaking. Oh. So that's when I feel like I need to go console him.
Consoling him is good. But what he would rather have you do before consoling him is that you do a little energy management to bring yourself kind of into a more zen place. And then you console him by just hanging with him versus, poor baby, are you okay? Yeah. That still doesn't feel awesome to him. Does that make sense? He doesn't really want poor baby. He wants, hey, we're hanging out together. There's a real kind of like bro kind of thing to him. You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay, wait. Bro attitude? That's so good.
Yes.
Okay.
He's
so
like, I'm not
if you
bro.
if you go to him and you do your big and boisterous coming from all the emotions, and then you're like, oh no, and you go to him and you hug him, and, oh, it's okay. That's not actually what he's asking of you. What he's asking of you is you can still be big and boisterous, but be in a more energy managed place. So you're big and boisterous, but it's coming from more like the love within versus the exasperation and this kind of thing. And then go sit with him, but in a bro way.
Yep.
Versus a poor baby way.
Yes. Got it.
I love that.
It makes it even like more bro-ish with his collar.
Yeah,
right now.
Best collar pop.
Yes.
What?
His outfit vest that he's
got
wearing,
like a popped collar. He's giving big bro energy.
He is.
He does show me that you do a bit of I'm gonna call it like poor baby hugging of him, and he doesn't want poor baby hugging. Okay. He wants bro hugging.
Fair enough.
Got it.
Does it make sense? Because you're more the poor baby hugger than you said your husband. You're more the poor baby hugger than your husband.
I mean, yes and no. I'm more likely to pause an emotion and go attend to anyone who might need it. But I will say he does like being carried like a baby, or at least I think he does.
Different. We can let's ask him about being carried. Okay. But the hugging of the poor baby.
Got it.
Yeah, different. Poor baby versus let's hang and I'll hold you and this is awesome, right? When that's different from poor baby.
Yeah. Yes. He's like, don't
my baby.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so I just said I was going to ask him about being carried like a baby. You want to ask him about that?
Yeah, I at least want to know because he jumps into my arms normally.
Oh, he loves being carried like a baby because when you do it, you're all happy and you're having fun, and he really loves being carried like a baby. So carried like a baby, good. Poor baby, bad.
Got it.
Awesome.
And so they do, a lot of the time when I'm doing readings, animals start like becoming more active and
Oh yeah, he's walking all around this place now.
okay. I'm going to see if he has anything else that he wants to say, and then we'll go into what he's helping you learn. So he's showing me what looks like an actual milk bone dog biscuit, like actual old school milk bone dog biscuit.
Okay.
And I mean, this is really obvious. He just wants more, but he wants the actual old school milk bone dog biscuit. Like, what do you get that looks like that?
You want that? I could do that.
I mean, what are you giving him that looks like that? It looks like a cartoon, and it says a milk bone on it.
Oh, do you have like the stuff things of that?
No. Well, whenever we were trained, those were the treats that he used to have. I actually used to have a bowl full of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like decorative, but he would go and he would stand next to the bookcase that they were on.
I remember that.
Yeah. And he would always, like, normally, this is funny about him. Whenever we were training him, we would do sit, and then we would do shake, then we'd do lay down, and then we'd do roll over. And so all I would do was say sit, and he would do all of them. And then he started to not even do all the way roll over. He would just smack his paw, lay down, and just go to his side, and then come up like, all right,
Give me the treat.
Come on, now give me the milk bone dog biscuit thing.
yes. Yes.
So I wonder if he's saying he actually wants that biscuit itself, or what you're talking about, that experience feels so good. Like, it feels to me like he's saying he really loved that experience of doing that training. And I feel like that it's not so much about the biscuit as it is about the time together doing more training. Does that make sense?
Yes. Because I do know that he's very
attention, connection, and attention and one-on-oneness. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And working together towards something. He really likes that as well. And he does say that you guys haven't been working together towards something much lately. It's more like, we're all hanging out. Here we are. But there's not like, I'm going to do this thing with Jeri and we're going to work on this thing again. Like, there's not that repeated type of like working towards something, and he really does miss that. And that's what the milk bone dog biscuits represented. Makes sense?
Yeah.
We'll work with you here, buddy.
Yeah.
We'll bring you here and do some training.
Don't do poor baby.
No.
Hey, listen, my dog.
Bro. We gonna train, boy. How you feel about them apples? You gotta figure out how to do that.
We're gonna find it.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I can't be laughing this much to do.
I'm sorry.
That's just how we are.
But you're totally right.
He liked it.
He loves it.
Oh my god, knowing that Mosby is a bro is the best thing I've ever figured out. That's amazing.
Oh, well, good.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought he was sensitive.
I'm crying, you guys. He's been kind of babied for a long time, and you've been missing out on all the bro-ness of him. So he's full on taking the opportunity to.
You know what? That's why he likes the vest.
It does make sense though, because he loves going on car rides, but like whenever we're in the car, he feels like my co-pilot. Mm-hmm. It's not like he is like we are. Honestly, when my husband and I were first married, I growing up, I found that removing myself from a situation was the easiest way to kind of regulate my emotions. And so there were times when during the beginning of our marriage, like when we first moved in together, I was like, I got to get out of this house. I'm not okay. And that bothered my husband because leaving in his experience meant I wasn't coming back. And I told him, if the dog is there, I'll be back.
Yeah.
If Mosby and I are both gone, we have a problem. But as long as he's there, I will be back.
I will come back.
How old is Mosby?
He is going to be 8.
Okay. It makes sense to me that he's kind of like, I'm not the baby. No more baby.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have babies.
Yes. He's like, I am your dude. Not the baby.
I feel that. I do feel like oftentimes he wants to separate himself from my kids and our other dog, who is a puppy. It feels like he wants to remind me that he is not a kid with them.
He's like, I'm your friend.
Yeah, he's like, I've been here before they were.
Yeah.
Why are you acting like I'm equal to
I'm
them?
one of the adults with you guys. Let me sit at the big kid table.
Yes.
Because you are lumping them all together. Yeah, it makes sense that he's and it's funny because he knows how to go about telling you this in a way that you'll listen to, you know, by talking, by going, bro.
Mostly having a sense of humor and knowing how to communicate
so
feelings
good.
that way is on par.
That's
what here's where I want to go. Before we go to what is he teaching you? What is your husband's name?
Shane.
Shane. Okay. Shall we ask him about Shane?
Sure.
Or no, we don't have to.
No, we can.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
What's Shane gonna say?
Probably it'll solidify what we already know, which is that he prefers me. No, I'm kidding.
Right.
I just put it in your head. Let Mosby tell you that he prefers me.
You want Mosby to say that, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask Mosby to tell me a little bit about Shane. Do you call Shane to Mosby, or do you call him something else? In a positive way. What's the positive way?
So we call each other B very often. Like my husband and I will call each other B. But also there was a running joke when Mosby was a puppy that he called Shane Derek.
Why?
And me,
Mosby
Carol.
referred to Shane as Derek?
Yeah. Because he wanted to establish himself as a dominant male in the household, which now really makes sense with the bro thing.
See, I told you how intuitive you are.
So intuitive.
I thought I was just making it up. I'm like, he's disrespecting you jokingly.
All right. So I'm asking Mosby to tell me a little bit about, I'm going to call him Shane instead of Derek.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because between, like, Mosby shows me you, Jeri, and then Shane. And Shane is, please no, this is how Mosby is showing me. Shane is, how do I say it? Like, less pushy in energy than you are.
Yes.
So Shane is kind of like softer footed, and it kind of reminds me, like, my husband's the same way. He's kind of like a gentler. He's the grounded one, and I am not. And it's a similar thing from how Mosby shows me the two of you, and then Mosby shows me that he can break rules with Shane. Like, Shane's easier on all of the boundaries. But do you disagree? What?
I don't know. I think it depends.
Okay, so let me ask Mosby what if he can give us an example.
What do you mean, bro?
All right. So I'm going to ask Mosby for an example of he says he gives in earlier, and I don't know how you're going to feel about this, but I
Right.
see him handing stuff, handing, I would say they're treats, I don't know, or food to Mosby more
Okay.
often.
Well,
Like-
he does feed the dogs more often, and I could see him like giving scraps and stuff.
Yeah, it has the feeling of maybe this isn't appropriate, but I'm going to be doing it. And this, like,
Yes.
Mosby's all over that. Yeah.
Mhm. He's very sneaky when it comes to food.
Yeah.
When it comes
And
to
is-
people food.
It's true.
Wait, Shane or Mosby?
Mosby.
Mhm.
Okay.
One time I found him. It was right after lunchtime. I put the kids in the bath and I walked back out and he had like 4 chicken nuggets in his mouth and he just like got off the table and was like,
Did that tiptoe thing?
yes, I
That's
see
awesome.
you with those chicken nuggets in your mouth.
Not pulling anybody.
There was one other thing he showed me about Shane. A lot of the time he shows me you down with Mosby, like almost like on the ground, touching, like always down low. But for some reason, a lot of the time, the visual I get of Shane is Shane's standing up more often.
Yep.
Does Shane not lay down so much with Mosby? Because I just Shane's usually
Shane
upright.
hates sitting down. This
Oh,
drives
okay.
people nuts whenever they come. Like, if we're having a fire or something, people will like,
Oh,
hey,
he'll
do you
just
want to
stand.
Yes, and he never sits down. He just, and it's not because he's busy. It's just because he doesn't want to sit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense. And also,
Okay.
he streams 3 nights a week, and so from like 8 p.m. to midnight, he is on his computer, and there is a dog bed in the basement that Mosby will go and lay on, but most of the time, I'm up in bed.
Yeah, so
and
he's
so
with
he'll
you.
sleep with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the more like the toucher, the cuddler, the floor, the all of this.
Mhm.
And then I mean the way he shows me Shane is Shane looks very long and tall and kind of lanky, long, tall, lanky, standing all the time.
Yes.
Not as something bad, but
Yeah.
just as this is who Shane is. And he's like just helping us get to know them.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to ask? I think we want to go into how is Mosby, what is happening? What is Mosby teaching you? How is Mosby teaching you? Sound good?
Yes.
Okay. So, wait, hold on. It is such a flood of information. I feel like this dog has been waiting to be able to share that. I'm like, you've got to slow down and not put so much all in one. So hold on a second. This is a lot. So it's interesting too. I love how they can tie stuff together based on what they've been talking about. So he is showing me all of the stuff we've been talking about where you kind of go into poor baby, I'm going to fix it for you. I'm going to do this for you. And he's showing me that this comes from a pain that you have in yourself of not having had people be there to fix it for you. And so you don't want anyone to experience that. And you especially feel it in him because you view him as powerless. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. So he's giving you these opportunities we already talked about because I'm asking him, well, where are you teaching her this? How are you teaching her this? He's giving you these opportunities. And we already talked about when you come in and you're big boisterous and your energy is like kind of out there, you're reacting emotionally and he's like, hey, and does the tiptoe out of the room. It's that moment that he wants you to take care of yourself first and then be with him as we're saying bros, but what it's doing is it's allowing you to feel strong within yourself, regain your own energy, regain your strength, and then go to him and give him the power to regain his own strength as well. So it's kind of like the two of you are coming into your grounding, into your strength next to each other together versus one of you is having to do it for the other. He wants for you through this experience with him to understand that you don't have to fix everybody, and that by you being in your power yourself, you're modeling this, you're holding this, and you're providing the opportunity for those around you to fix themselves. There's a lot of reactions going on there.
Well, you were a little better at your job because I don't know what you're talking about.
That doesn't resonate at all.
Never heard of it. Not at all. Yeah.
Yep. That sounds about right.
Can you tell me?
Is it weird that I'm sorry,
No,
I didn't mean to cut you off. Is it weird that when you were talking about the poor baby thing, that like I kind of knew where this was gonna, I swear to God, I knew this was where it was headed. I swear, I almost called it out and I'm like, don't put things in her head. But I was like, I can see where this is going.
And I was like,
I don't for a very long time.
I don't want it to go there.
I'm sorry.
No.
But the other thing is, you were shaking your head the whole time.
Yes. Well, I kind of, you said that he's been waiting to like say all of that. Can you tell me whether or not he has been like an energy in my life even before his physical presence was?
So are you asking, is he the reincarnation of somebody?
I mean, not necessarily, but I guess if he's got that answer, I would take it. But I kind of would, I'll explain to you why after, but I don't want to
I know this.
Yeah. So here's the thing that happens. Remember I said in the beginning that you basically, the two souls were like, hey, we're going to work together in this lifetime. And his soul came in to help you grow.
Yeah.
So when that happens, we don't know when the animal's going to come in our life. We just know that this is going to happen. Some people have definitely kind of felt there's the one is coming to them. This one is coming to them. They've gotten signs as well, which they often don't realize were a sign until later. Once the animal's in their life, they're like, oh, that was a sign, and that was a sign, and that was a sign. But they didn't realize it at the time. They didn't know to put all the things together. So Is that what you're asking?
Okay.
I can tell you that he has been in your life in a different lifetime as a horse.
Oh my God. What? Horse girl.
Oh,
well, that's so weird. Was I also a horse? This is so weird. Okay. So what? He does give big horse energy. Okay. All right. I gotta organize this in my mind. So, how do I explain this to you? Reggie told me that when he would like,
Reggie, that other psychic. Okay.
Yeah. He would tell me that my spirit guide, my spirit animal was a horse. And so it's very interesting that you say that in another time he was a horse. But also, this is embarrassing, but there's an episode where Sierra and I were talking about how there was someone who said that you looked like a bunny.
Yeah, he said I looked like a rabbit.
And so we were saying
you said that you got
that you were a fuckable bunny.
Yeah, sorry.
And that I was a hot horse. So it's again just funny.
It's because now it's become a running joke for the podcast. Like we actually have pictures of her as a horse.
Someone drew me as a horse.
So, it's all coming together.
Again, that's funny. But the reason I asked is because when I was little, and everything that you were saying was basically what I was experiencing as a child. I had a stuffed dog named Mo, and I would hold him like a baby, and every night I would pray that he would be a real dog when I woke up. And it was because I wanted, he felt like my protection, and it was like my comfort thing. And I kept this dog. It had one eye. It was covered in
went through some stuff.
Rigatoni sauce. It was disgusting.
It's not good.
But I kept it forever. And so one day I was teaching and I came home, and my now husband, he was cleaning, and he had put the stuffed animals that I was keeping in a box like on the ground to clean, and then he was going to move it back. And my parents' dog shredded Mo. And then 2 months later, we got Mosby. So it was very bizarre. And he likes to be held the exact same way that I would hold that dog. So I've always just felt like that was him. So
let's talk about that for a moment.
Okay.
When you hold Mo, and to me, it looks like you're actually not Mosby. Sorry. Yes. When you hold Mosby, and to me, in my head, the way he shows me is you're actually holding him like a baby. Like the arms and legs are up, like cradling like a baby.
Yes.
You, in your energy, feel calm and good. As long as you're not doing poor baby. He doesn't like poor baby, but you don't usually hold like a baby for poor baby. Yes. They're separate things.
Yes. Because you're normally silly, goofy, happy when you do it.
He throws him into me.
Yeah.
What? Like I'll go like this and he'll go like this. Like he jumps into me.
And so look at how you feel when you do that. He shows me you feel amazing. Like he wants to be with you in that energy. You don't do it when you're chaotic or you're being too big and reactionary. You do it when you're feeling good and you want to feel even better. And that's why he loves it. Why do you do that? You just described why, because of your past associations with it. Yeah. So he's taking advantage of that. I don't see that the stuffed bunny was actually him or anything like that. It's more that because you have such good associations with that, when you're doing it, he's all about that. That's how he wants. If you're not doing bro, then he'll take he'll take that. Because either one, look at how you are with both of those. You're happy, you're connected, you're in tune with yourself. You're like you are in the zone when you're doing those things. Even bro, because it makes you laugh. Yes. Brings you right into the place where he wants you to be, which is not a problem fixing place, right? Yeah. The problem fixing place is poor baby. So I understand why he likes it so much.
That's fascinating.
This is fascinating. Yeah.
Wow. I feel like a little bit like you're trying to toxic positivity me, but that's fine. I hear you.
Oh
no. That this dog, man. I can tell that
I think he's like connected. He understands you have to have those feelings, but he's like, not near me, friend.
Not near me. And it is something he is saying, like, it is something you need to work on. Like it is what it is. You don't like it, but I'm showing it to you.
Yep.
Do with that what you
And that's what they do. They know what you need to work on, and they find their way in your life to highlight it.
That is
amazing.
Amazing.
If you want the relationship to grow deeper with him, then you just work in that area that he's pointed out, and you will have more in your relationship with him. Because as you get better at that, then he stops having the reaction to you having that energy, and there's more space and time for you guys to grow new parts of your relationship.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
That was amazing.
No.
That was fun. That was fun to do because that's a pretty interesting dog you have right there.
We get that. Well, not we, you.
I'm always curious because whenever I do speak to people, a lot of times they either will say like whoever's coming through for me is like intense in some kind of way, of like just a lot, like a big personality. And I know that this is something you've been doing for 20 years.
Yeah.
So I again take it as a compliment. You're like, that is an interesting dog because you've spoken to a lot of animals.
It is, but he knew how to get through to you. He knew the words to use. If he had said some kind of like, you're trying to fix people all the, like, I mean, well, you know what I mean? Like, that wouldn't have sounded like him. He knew the words to use. He knew how to get in there with bro. He knew exactly what to do.
Truly, literally.
Gosh. No bone for you today, buddy.
Yep.
He's like, he's now relaxing some more.
Yeah, well, he did end up opening up. He was just slow in the beginning, you know? Just took a little to warm up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
That was
You're
incredible.
welcome.
You are
You're
phenomenal
welcome. That was
at your
really fun.
Yeah. I cannot thank you enough for coming on and talking to us and showing us that, because now I want you to read my dogs. I'm going to book with you later.
We can do it again.
Yes.
We can do it again. Yeah. Actually, it's kind of cool because it would be very different.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
different for each person, what the animal's honing in on for each person and how that animal's helping that person. Everybody's working on something different. So the animals all have different behaviors.
Yes.
I am curious. I played a prank on Sierra and I used so my dog Louise passed away almost 2 years ago.
Mhm.
She was only 4. She had cancer.
Ooh.
Horrible. But we have her ashes, and my dad is a cemetery director. He had a cremation box, and I did play a prank on Sierra and pretend that someone sent us ashes in a P.O. box
of a dead relative.
And so part of me does wonder if Louise is mad at me because I did that, or if
Louise seems like she would have been.
I feel like she would have been fine.
Yeah.
They don't care about their ashes at all.
Cool.
Okay,
What
great.
they care about is that if we're going to do something with their ashes, it means something to us. But they're not attached to their ashes. That's
To be fair,
cool.
that
Okay,
did mean something to us. It did. It was.
She was funny.
She was funny. She was very funny. I think she would have liked that prank.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we had her blessing.
Me too.
Well, now I feel better that I feel like I could get rid of her ashes and not feel badly about it.
No.
But
I actually still have 3 dogs' ashes. Not because I couldn't give them up. I just, what do I do?
That's how I feel. What do I do with these?
Yeah.
Right.
Play a prank, I guess. I don't know. Bit morbid. Oh, well. Well, where can everyone find you?
Yes.
On my website, DanielleMacKinnon.com. And I do classes, and I have a membership community where we all kind of play together like this. And it's pretty fun. I teach people how to do what I do.
So
amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you also have 2 books?
I do. I forgot. Yep. I have 2 books. One is Animal Lessons, which is where I teach people how to figure out what Mosby told us about what he was doing for you. And then the other one is called Soul Contracts, and that's figuring out your soul contracts and working with them without an animal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
So cool. You are just wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's been a joy to have you on here.
Yes.
Thank you. This is it was really fun. This was really fun, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Well, that's that, everyone, on Danielle MacKinnon reading Click Clack and telling me that I need to get my stuff together, I guess. Or we thank you so much, and we love you. We will see you next week.
All right.
We're out.
Goodbye.